It's your timeshare. Would you like to buy a timeshare?
Going to somewhere.
I did 9 o'clock.
Okay, you're live.
Did you ever connect with Randy?
I don't know. Randy's on.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 9 o'clock. It is February 13th. And it's time for our weekly Codington County Commission meeting, and we'll begin the meeting with the flag salute and Commissioner Waterman, you lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America, with this day, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Waterman. Housekeeping chores to take care of this morning. If you have a cell phone, which I think most of us do, please silence it, turn it off. And if you do get a call that you need to take, please step out into the rotunda area so you don't disrupt the meeting. Would appreciate that. We do have two commissioners, Commissioner Gable and Commissioner Schwer, that are joining the meeting electronically this morning. The rest of us are here, I think, anyway. If there's any conflict of interest from the board members?
No comment.
No conflict, okay. If you do have a public comment or a comment, we would take that public comment in person or via telephone, and the telephone call numbers are 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. And we have an agenda item at the end of the agenda just set aside for those types of things. Number 4 on the agenda is action to approve the February 13th agenda, and I have a motion by Commissioner Van Duzen and second by, was that Gable?
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign, motion carries. Action to approve the February 6th minutes of the Board of County Commissioners meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Waterman, second by
I'll second it.
I'll take Randy, Commissioner Schwer. Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries. Number 6 on the agenda is the opening of the annual bids for highway supplies and weed chemicals and possible action to award these bids. And Rick is up here, so let's get started on that. I think you have some paperwork in the packet that will help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.
Rick. You need a letter opener?
Well, I got one here.
Okay,
See what we got.
looks like we got quite a pile of them. That's good.
What's that?
Probably the 4th.
It's over here. Steel bin. All right. Figure out where we're at. Link tails. This is pipe. This is pipe. All right.
Up envelope.
Package in the package.
It's just like Christmas.
Yeah, sure is. All right. The first one is concrete pipe. It's by Rinker,
How do you spell that?
Rinker.
And where are they located?
They are Rapid City. Okay. The first one is 24-inch pipe. It's 53.72.
372.
53.72.
Are these prices all delivered to Watertown then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the second is 36-inch pipe. That is 98.35. And the second is 60-inch pipe, which is 273.84. Okay. Okay, the second is Chemcast. CEMCAST. Okay, 24-inch pipe is 54.07.
Where are they located at?
They are
That Huron?
no,
Hartford.
Hartford.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I was looking on the sheet. It's not on here. It's on the, okay, 36-inch pipe is 105.77. Okay, 60-inch pipe is 295.35. Usually they have more in here. That's all they have. Okay. The pre-stressed bridge deck. Okay, this is by Rinker. Okay, the 40-foot by 23-inch is $7,175. And the 30-inch, 50-foot long is $10,128.
Can you say that again, please? That amount 10,000 and what?
$10,128. And that was the only, we did not see anything from Comcast. Okay. The box call. Okay. This is also Rinker. And the first one is 8x8. Second, make sure I'm on the right page. Okay, $743 for the 8x8.
Is that per foot or
Those are
6 foot?
okay, the 10x10. Stop that try.
Sorry.
Is $919. Okay. I do believe that's all we have for that.
It's nothing more exciting than opening bids, I know.
We're gonna figure something else out on what they're doing this one of these days. Okay. The next page is metal pipe. We're going to buy off Beetle County's bid for metal pipe because True North Steel is right across the street from the Beetle County shop. And they give them one bid and it's for the whole county. And I'll have that next week. I didn't have it on this week's agenda because it's metal pipe and bridge deck lumber. And they have a whole list of stuff. We will go off their bid entirely. So if we need more stuff, there's stuff that we can buy off their bid also. So that'll help that. Okay. Next one. Diesel fuel. We have two bids. The first one is Cole Petroleum. They're out of Madison. And the second one is Sioux Valley. Okay, number 2 diesel fuel in Watertown.
Cool.
Yes, Cole's Petroleum. $289.45. And the out shop is 15 cents more. Okay, number 1 fuel is 8 cents a gallon. It says 8 cents a gallon above the Sioux Falls unbraided rack average.
So we're looking at 297.
So I just want to back you up here for just a
Okay.
minute. So that you said 15 cents more. The 289 for number two, 15 cents more would be 304.
Yes. For
Okay.
that's for the out shops.
Yes.
Yes.
Number two out shops.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure we have a
Yep.
number on there.
That's $2.89 even, excuse me, Rick, I thought
It's 289.45 is how they have it listed on the paper.
2.89 and a little less than a half cent. Okay.
Yep. All right.
So it's 304.45 then. For the out shops.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have a calculator on me, so I'm
Yeah.
looking at Troy.
That's what it would be. Yeah, it's, you said 15 cents more.
Yeah, because it was 15 cents
It's right on the dot.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
45. Yeah.
per gallon for small deliveries to outlying shops.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything. I'd probably for the number one, I'm assuming it would be the 15 cents a gallon
Yeah.
more also.
319.
$319.45.
45. Yeah.
We get number one to the out shops too?
Yes. All of our fuel in the winter time is a 50-50 blend, and then we put an additive with it. Just so we hopefully don't have any issues.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
Okay. Sioux Valley. He has Ruby Field Master is 288.
That would be the number two.
Yep. And then he has dyed number 2 premium at 283. Not exactly sure what that means.
Field master is the.
Yeah.
Tax.
Yeah, but why he's got with no other, unless that was Schaefer's or something, because that's what Coles was Schaefer's fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So okay,
That first price, 288, is that 288.9 or is it
that was 288.
just plain 288?
Yep, and the next one was 283.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, and then the out shop for number 2 is 304 for the Ruby Field Master. And then the dyed number 2 is 289. Or 298. Dyslexic there. Okay. And number 1 dyed is 326. And the out shops number 1 is 338.
We didn't have a number one out shops for coal petroleum.
Theirs was
Did we?
just the I'm assuming it was the 15
Plus.
cents per gallon
Yeah.
more.
More than 319.
Yeah. Because it says all it says is
More than 297. Am I mixed up here?
what was that? Lee?
Yeah, I thought it was 15 cents more for the number one from Cole. I thought it was 15 cents more from 297 for the outshop, or did I hear the
Yeah,
wrong?
see, that's what I'm assuming, because it
Okay.
doesn't say anything, you know, because it has the number one fuel. And it just says 8 cents a gallon more, but it,
Yeah,
and then when you go down, it's 15 cents more per gallon for the out shops.
right, yeah, okay.
It's a little confusing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Then they only had one grade of number one,
yeah, yeah, they,
unlike the
there
number,
was nothing,
unlike the number two.
yeah, it was just, number one died premium. So. Okay. Let's move down to the gas. First one is Coles. And 10% is $258.45. And then they had no bid for 20 and 30% or an E85. Okay, Sioux Valley. Their 10% is $269. Their E30 is $244. And E85 is $230.
No 20.
No 20. Okay. Now we'll go to liquid asphalt. We have two bids. The first one is from Flint Hills. And they're out of Marshall, Minnesota. And the second is from Jebro. And they're out of Sioux City. And they have a plant in Corson. All right. Flint Hills does not have a bid for MC 70 or MC 3000. They have a bid for the AE 150S, which is $635 a ton. And I printed off the wrong sheets because they have other things on here that I didn't have them on, so we'll have to make extra lines. Okay, there's a CSS 1H. And that is $600 per ton. And then the next one is a CSS dash 1HD30. And that is $435 a ton. And then there's a CSS dash 1HD50. And that is $325 a ton. Okay, and like I said, the second one is Jebro. Okay, and they have MC70, which is 1,141.39. Okay, and then their 150 is 714.01. Okay, and their MC 3000 is 891.39. Okay. And then they also have the CSS 1H. And that is 694.01. They also have an AE 300. Oops, there's no bid on that, excuse me. And I do believe that is everything. Yes. Okay. Next is P Rock. And this is Northern Con Ag. And it is 705 per ton, $7.05. See if Alex has anything in there. And Dunick also has a P Rock bid. And that is $17 per ton. Okay,
As a Con Ag, do we go down there and pick that up ourselves at 705 a ton, or is Are they both delivered or? The people
That was $17 per ton.
from Dunick.
Done.
Yes,
And whenever we haul from like Conag or Dunick, we pick it up,
okay.
so. Okay, and the next one's gravel crushing. It looks like we only have the one bid from Brownlee Construction. Okay, 1/2 inch is $3.58. 5/8 is $3.44. And 3/4 is $3.04. Okay,
What
One
was
more
5/8 again? Rick, what was 5/8 again? Sorry.
$3.44. $3.44.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, liquid asphalt material.
Asphalt patching.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I said liquid.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And this is Dunix also. Okay. Cold mix is 180 per ton. And hot mix for 3/4 inch is 78.50. Half inch is $83 per ton. And 1/2 inch mixed with virgin material is $99 per ton. And I do believe that's it.
You want to,
Oh,
Just too sure.
okay. Yeah, there's one here that we're not sure if it was a bid or if it belonged to the auditor.
Sure, next year. That's one of the-
Oh, this is Johnny's premium boat.
Alrighty.
Yep,
you want, do you think you can have time to look through them by the end of the meeting and come back, or?
I'm gonna come back next week because I
Very
gotta
good.
bring Beetle County's bid.
Mhm.
And then we'll go with the recommendations then, if that works for you guys.
That works. It's okay with the rest of you, right?
Yep, that's okay.
Now we'll look at the chemicals. Steve, it's in your hands. In your hands. Sorry about that. Steve.
Gotta be literally correct for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You gotta know what I'm doing
I'll be right here.
Welcome back.
They did this one, huh? All right. Organized a little bit. I'll start out with Hefty seed and chemical. They're out of Watertown here. Okay, we will start out with rodeo or aquatic glyphosate. This would be approximately 50 gallons of 2.5 gallon containers. Manufacturer, New Farm. Price, $33.04 a gallon. Roundup Pro, which is either just a plain glyphosate. 10 Cox is the manufacturer name. $15.25 per gallon in 2.5 gallon containers.
That's it.
The 10 Cox, yeah, that would be the manufacturer name. Plateau. This is in 1 gallon containers from Aguilera at a price of $148.75 per gallon. 2,4-D amine, which has to be aquatic labeled. This is in 250 gallon containers or plus. Albon, and the price is $11.01 per gallon, which that price has been going down finally. Yeah, wasn't that about 15, 16 last year? Yeah, and it was 30 almost the year before, so. Tordon 22K in 2.5 gallon containers. Corteva 63.50 a gallon. Non-ionic surfactant 9010. 2.5 gallon containers, usually what they come in as. $12.74 a gallon. Get that knocked out of there, right? All right, now we'll have Van Dees Chemical. They're out of Webster City, Iowa. They have warehouses in Pierre, Granite Falls, Wayne, Nebraska, and also now in Grand Forks, North Dakota. All right, aquatic glyphosate, New Farm. It is $24 a gallon. Roundup for glyphosate plain. Bear, $22.25 per gallon. Plateau, he gave 2 different quotes for 2 different types of herbicide, a generic and the regular Plateau. BASF Plateau, $120.45 a gallon. And Algera, which is the generic panoramic, $107.56 a gallon.
That's 106, right?
Correct, 107.
107.
Yep, 56.
Thank you.
You bet. 2,4-D amine. Manufacturer, Corn Belt. $12.05 a gallon. 22K of Tordon. Corteva. 53.45 a gallon. Non-ionic surfactant. Brewer. 11.30 a gallon. Then he also has Premier 90, which is 23.43 per gallon. Now, this is from Optera. Here it says they're from South Carolina. I have no idea for sure where they have a warehouse, but of course, everything is supposed to be delivered to the shop, so. All right, we'll start out with aquatic glyphosate. They use New Farm, which is Aquaneat, 24.25 per gallon. Roundup or glyphosate plain, Albon, which is Glystar 5 Extra, $20 per gallon. The Plateau, Sharda US, UL or LLC, 109.50 per gallon. Of course, that would be a generic. (2,4-D) amine, New Farm, 14.05 per gallon. Cordon 22K, Dow, which is actually technically Corteva. 83.75 per gallon. The surfactant, $14 per gallon. My recommendations, I look it over to see if everything meets the requirements. And I will put things together. I will not be here next week, but I will send it out. So we had to be approval.
Okay,
So, okay,
thank you, Steve.
you bet.
Anyone have any questions for Steve before he leaves? All right, thank you.
I think so.
I'll be back to do my report.
Okay, then item number 7 on the agenda are monthly reports, and we'll start out with the auditor.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Currently working on the annual report for 2023. We did receive notice of the CPI for taxes payable in 2025, and that amount, once again, is 3%. So I looked at what the amount we could raise this year and did the 3%. So the amount that we'll be able to raise next year is $294,015.10. So that's just the CPI. That is not the growth. So that is that. Also working on abatements and tax splits. They're being taken care of as they come in. And whatever election sort of information is coming in, checking out petitions and filing those as well. Other than that.
Okay. Motion to approve the auditor's report.
So moved.
Motion by Van Dusen and seconded by Commissioner Waterman.
I didn't.
Actually, we don't have to.
That's just my monthly report. Further down is the
Yeah,
actual,
okay, all
so
right.
You can
What's wrong
save
with
that
it?
for later.
Let's go on to the next monthly report, Director of Equalization.
Oh, Shauna's not here today.
Shauna's not
Nope,
here?
she's not here, so.
Did she give us a hard
No,
copy?
no, it's something that came up unexpectedly, so.
All right, then we'll go to Sarah, Welfare Department. Yes, it's not Welfare Department anymore.
No, my bad. I'll
Okay,
change
community
that.
services.
Yeah,
we're
Takes
good.
a while
We're
for us
good.
to catch on.
I know.
I'll be changing that.
It's all in the middle.
Thank you.
And yeah, so our stats update. We had a busy month in January, 37 individuals seen. Yeah, still working on data, but it's getting better, the more accurate reporting. Funeral assistance, we had a funeral, so that's where that came from. Oh, looks like probably a couple funerals that we assisted with in January. And then on the back is just the completed services. So heavy in the case management, which is a reflection of our Sage W services from there. That's what that reflects. So any questions about any of that? Okay, the other, it's a pretty short report this month, I think. We received $3,000 in administrative fees from the CARES ERA funding. That's from Carrie's work administering that program. Our impact or CHW program, we received $6,658.32 was reimbursed from the grant. Medicaid reimbursement was $218.25. We currently have 20, actually that price I need to update. We are increasing the billing for Medicaid. Carrie is now CHW certified, so we can also bill for her services too when she has Medicaid clients. And so we're working on that whole process. Hope to have everything ironed out by the time we're done with the grant in May. We currently have 21 active clients between Carrie and Paige. And Carrie has started going to the jail to help the inmates plan for the release. And so that's been a good partnership with Matt and Brad. We appreciate them working with us and hoping to help more people stay out of jail like that. We did have a meeting with our grant evaluators regarding the grant goals. We're doing really well with that. And so we're working on another poster that we'll be able to present to share with everybody for that. As far as the office itself, we do have another student that's interested in interning this spring, so I'll be back probably next week or the week after. I mean, it's nothing urgent, but I'll be back to get that approved. And then I did step into the role as a South Dakota Association of County Welfare Officials president starting January due to the previous president retiring. So I'll be there for about a year and a half.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's Zoom makes it much easier.
Yeah.
So can't have all our board meetings over Zoom is helpful. And then interagency meeting, we had that last week. We are going to be changing the format of the interagency. Resilient Communities is going to take that over. So we won't have a March meeting. And then starting in April, Resilient Communities will start more of a community discussion type format with that meeting. So I think that'll be a good change for us. The other things that I'm focusing on are, we have the Watertown Development Company has hired a consultant for the housing strategic planning. And so I'm helping lead that piece. We'll have a housing strategic planning session in early May, and then we'll have a housing summit in June with that consultant. We also have the childcare consultant that was received through a grant that Watertown Development Company received, and we're working with them to address community needs regarding childcare. And we are also working with another consultant through the Beyond Ideas grant, which our office received for the needs assessment, which I mentioned last time. The other thing I wanted you to know is the director for Watertown Cares stepped down, and so we're in the process of hiring a new director for that. I'm on the board for that, so just so that you know. For that. That's,
Okay, any questions for Sarah?
No.
Seeing none, thank you, Sarah.
thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Next one to report is Steve, the facility manager. He said he hadn't left the building yet, so.
Well, I'll start out for the report today with the Ag Building. Of course, Winter Farm Show was held last week and pretty well without a hitch. And then there's several functions that are happening in the next month. Of course, they have Pro Pheasant Banquet coming up on Friday night. There is Home Show, Big Boy Toy Show, and the gun show. So I will be meeting this afternoon with Banner Engineering to view over 3 plans on the parking lot this at 2 o'clock at the extension. I've invited a couple of the commissioners to attend if they wish, so. Johnson Controls will be conducting a walkthrough with contractors for the generator and the fire suppression system on Thursday at 10 o'clock. We will start out here at the courthouse with the generator and then proceed over to the Ag Building. Contractors have started in the government building and detention center, dismantling the cooling system, the HVAC. They started a week ago. Progress is going pretty good. They are dismantling now the piping over in the detention center portion. This project actually is projected for completion in early October, so people have to kind of deal with some things that might have to do when we're setting chillers and things like that here later. I don't really have much else to report on for the detention center. The park, the contractor has completed 2 of the 3 roofing projects out there so far, and they're planning on having completion next week on the last building if weather holds.
Good.
So far, as of this morning, there's been 3 online reservations made this year so far. Well,
Off to a great start.
off to a great start. Yeah, well, they booked it the first 2 of them for the first weekend and then the second weekend of May so far. So
Broke the ice.
broke the ice. Yep. In the weed, I worked at the weed booths at Sioux Falls and Winter Farm shows here in the past few weeks. And then also to let you know that next week is the Weed and Pest Conference, which is out in Spearfish, South Dakota. And then I'm going to send a reminder here telling you that the annual Weed and Townsend Township Soup Supper and meeting is set for Monday, March 4th at 6 p.m. in the Expo building. Kitchen is currently right now booked up for that evening. Brenda will send out another reminder in a couple weeks, so on the agenda. That pretty well covers what I have so far.
Any questions for Steve on his reports?
Was out at the
Okay.
farm show over the weekend and, you mentioned that things went off without a hitch out there. Just good job to the staff and it was really well organized and I thought it was a pretty fun event again this year.
Yep.
Very well done.
So
Thank you.
All right, let's go on then with item number 6, and that is a action to approve a proposal with IMEG for engineering services for County Road 9-1/458 Avenue, and this is a culvert replacement. Rick?
Good morning again. Yes, this is for engineering services, like Myron said, on County Road 9-1. It's just west of the interstate, north of State Highway 20. There's 2 8-foot culverts there. One of them is beyond repair. It's all buckled in the bottom of it and they need to be taken out, and they're too short to begin with. And we'll have good sized culverts put in there and they'll be riprap and make the road a little wider and everything through there. But this is just for the engineering services to have that done. Of $21,500.
When I was reading that, I noticed they did not have to do a hydraulic study on that.
I don't think they had to, but that was
Not included.
what's
The
that?
hydraulic study is not included in that.
I'm not
Maybe
exactly
it's not
sure.
Necessary, I don't know.
I'm not exactly sure if they had to do one. So, because they're basically replacing the same pipe with the same size pipe, so they shouldn't have to.
Nope.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
This was a budgeted item also.
All right, I will entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion
Second.
by Commissioner Waterman, second by Commissioner Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
same. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Let's go on to item number 9, and this is the action to authorize the vice chair to sign agreement to keep Bridge 15-215-230 on 177th Street on the 5-year bridge plan. And this was part of our discussion last week.
Correct. And the residents down there just want to make sure we keep it on the bridge plan. So we don't take it off because it was on the bridge plan at one time and was taken
I'll
off.
make a motion to approve that.
Motion by
Okay.
Commissioner Van Duzen, seconded by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Fine. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you,
on
Rick.
to item number 5, and that's the
10.
HMEP grant, and that is
Item number 10.
10.
Yep.
That is emergency management. Well, good morning. So share with us the nuts and bolts of this grant.
Well, the HMEP grant is the Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant. We apply for it, I mean, most years. This year we did training with it. There were 2 hazmat awareness level classes that were taught at Lake Area. 39 people, members of the community, different emergency responders, they can all attend that. But we also get all of the Lake Area law enforcement students, just, an awareness level class on hazardous materials, how to read the emergency response guidebook and so forth. This year last year I had hoped to do a commodity flow study with that. That's also approved under this grant. Municipality or whoever's applying, applicant is responsible for 20% of it. We've used that traditionally, like with the soft match, through like volunteer hours or whatever the person getting trained, what their salary was, but I mean, that's typical for training. I don't know, I guess we're just requesting authorization to apply for it again this year, and we'd probably cut it down to, well, we may do a single class. We're gonna look at that a little bit more closely, and then hopefully a commodity flow study, since our last one was 2009.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Waterman, second by Commissioner Gable. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? My question would be, how much is this grant for and when is it? Timeline?
So this would be next year's grant or next fiscal year. So the period of performance on the grant would be 1 October 2024 to 30 September 2025.
Yeah.
If we do the hazmat classes, our match would be the people who attend it would offset. That would be our matching funds. I touched base with First District on doing a commodity flow study, and we're trying to hammer out what the scope would be to try to get a good estimate of what the cost would be for doing that. So our last one we had, I think it went over 2 months, and people would like look at specific locations for 8 hours a day. So, but it was just 2 days at each location. So we'll just try to hammer out the details on that and see how we can get a good comprehensive flow study.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Same side? Seeing none, Motion carries.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Item number 11, action to approve the daily inmate rate for the out of county inmates. Sheriff Brad?
Morning.
Good morning, Brad.
Inmate contracts, we kind of discussed this a few weeks ago when I was up here. I think the consensus was around $130 because the cost of confinement was $129.67 in 2023. So I sent out the contracts and I think we just need approval to go ahead with that $130 for the chair to sign the contracts when they come back in.
Motion by Gable,
Second.
second by Commissioner Waterman. Any more discussion?
I have one question. What's the effective date?
March 1st. I've actually got 3 contracts back from some of the surrounding counties already, so they'll be funneling up as they come in. So
Okay.
we're probably going to lose a little bit of contract just because of the price. We're a little bit higher than the rest, but we do got to run this like a business.
That's Mr. Chair, if I can ask a question. That was the question I was going to ask. Was there resistance towards the increase?
There's some that are going to go to Brookings now that there's
Yeah.
Brookings has a facility.
That's fine.
Okay.
But that's business.
Okay.
So some of our dollar amount coming in next year, I guess, is going to probably be a little bit lower, a little more slim. But like I say, the
It might
numbers are
be higher
there.
too.
It might be higher too.
So what are we going from?
We're going from 95 to 130.
Okay.
So
Any more discussion? Any more questions for Brad? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Fine. Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
just got one other quick thing here. Got some information to kind of pass along. Last week I was not able to make it up here and there was some discussion about injuries in the workplace and assaults and whatnot on staff. So I was able to kind of dig through with the help of the auditor's office here. We dug through all the work comp claims, and we also worked with the state's attorney's office to kind of find out how many assaults were on staff and whatnot. So when I went through the work comp claims, I kind of went back to 2013 and we dug out some of the slip and falls and the ones that you typically wouldn't have when you're dealing with an inmate. So some of the numbers I'm sharing here are just strictly dealing with inmates. So like I say, when I'm talking about some things I took out are just slip and fell or something when you're not dealing with an inmate. So these numbers are directly dealing with inmates. Some of those items that I'm going to talk about are like punches to the face, head or body. Multiple times we've had bent, broken bones, fingers, exposure to blood from HIV positive inmate. That was a couple times. A lot of times there's some saliva, urine, dealing with that, and wounds. And there was one that was actually, that happened and somehow ended up in an inmate or a correctional officer's mouth. Back issues. That's one thing that we oftentimes see from fights or dealing with inmates or detaining inmates. You being kicked in the side of the face, bites. A lot of people get bite when you're fighting because you're in close quarters, choked, sprained wrist, muscles, shoulder pains. That's a big one. Oftentimes you get cuts, scrapes, abrasions, and there've been a couple times where a head or a body part has been slammed in one of our jail doors in the jail. Those are just some of the ones that we see multiple times. So in the last 10 years there, back to 13, there was 36 times where we had staff injuries due to assaults or dealing with inmates directly. 36 times.
This was in the past year?
This is in the last 10 years.
Oh, 10 years, okay.
So from 13 to 23, those are the numbers that we're coming up with here.
So for 23, you're actually down 0.6 on an average.
In 23, we're down about 0.6 if you average it out. 3.6 to be about 4 times a year. So down just a little bit in 23. There was 4 assaults on staff in the jail in 23. If you look over here, we worked with the state's attorney's office there, and you'll see that there was 33 things that got charged out with officer involved assaults in the last 10 years as well. That's from correctional officers and some deputies dealing with inmates in there. Didn't have time to break it down to see which ones are deputies and which ones are correctional officers, but I'm gonna say a majority of those are from the correctional officers staff. Those in-
Yeah, these are
those charges,
just-
so.
Okay, just so I'm
The-
clear on this, Brad, if I can ask a question
Sure.
about it. So this is just injuries that have occurred to the staff resulting in charges.
The first one is just injuries to staff,
Okay,
maybe not necessarily resulting in charges. There's times when you maybe go break up a inmate on inmate assault and maybe you hurt your back or something in there where it may not rise to the level of charges.
an assault, yeah, okay.
We do send everything over to the state's attorney for review so they can see those and hopefully charge them out if it meets some merit there.
Mhm. Okay,
The second column there, that is how many times the state's attorney has charged out assault on law enforcement or correctional officer. It was 33 times in the since 13, so
Yeah, I see, and I'm just looking
that
at,
does not include 24 numbers because there's already one or two on 24 here already, so.
we're in February.
And we're in February,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's just kind of, it's very interesting numbers. And I see in 21 where it was 5 and they charged with 9.
Yeah. Like I say, sometimes it may not have been injured on an assault too, so some of the numbers may kind of go back and forth a little bit, so.
And you go back to 17 and there was 8 with a population of just about 79.
Yep,
2 charged.
2 charged, 8 injuries, so.
charging decision is ultimately up to the state's attorney on whether or not they feel that it's worthy of a charge.
Good information, Brad.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, very
Just wanted
good.
to share that, like I say, those injuries do happen here locally in our, let's see, here's the whole packet of information that we went through and we were looking at that.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Brad.
So,
Yeah, thanks for digging out and Brenda for helping him get that information available. Any more questions for Brad? All right,
All right,
we'll
thank
turn you loose then. Thank you. Item number 13 is action to approve a job description for accountant administrator position in the auditor's office.
First, we have 12. That's my auditor's account with the treasurer, number 12.
Excuse me?
Number 12, the auditor's account with the treasurer would be
Oh,
first.
did I skip that? I marked it off. Auditor's account with the treasurer. Brenda?
Well, you already
Yeah.
had the motion earlier, but anyway, so yes, you have that information in the packet. What the amount of was. What do I want to say here? Get back on my that we reconcile with the treasurer at the end of the business day of January 2024. And then you have your monthly settlements, the general fund amounts, the other sheet, the auditor's account with the treasurer has the amounts that goes to the schools, the townships, cities and towns. Those are the dollar amounts that are allocated out from the month of January. And then the monthly register of deeds, sorry, note that, 32,637.30.
I have
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Van Duzen. That would you say that?
Yeah.
And second by Commissioner Gable, is that right?
Yep, say that.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we'll approach number 12 here. Action to approve a job description for accountant administrator position in the auditor's office and our HR.
Yeah.
Will share with us information. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. Yes, the first action item you have is to approve a job description for accountant administrator. I believe you have that in your packet. I have worked with Brenda, and since we had the departure last year of a financial assistant, we've just been kind of looking through what is needed and how to best structure the work that needs to be done in that office. So we've actually taken what was previously a financial assistant position, combined that with an administrative specialist, or what was our administrative specialist position, reworked some of those job duties to make sense into this new position, accountant administrator. You'll see later on the agenda, you have approval for updating on the wage scale as well. So this graded out to our pay grade 35 on our wage scale based on the skills, experience, duties involved in this position.
Thank you for doing all the work with us, Natalie.
You're welcome.
Brenda, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll
Motion.
second it.
Gable and a second by Randy, Commissioner Randy Schwer. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on then to the number 14, action to approve a job description for administrative support position in the auditor and the community services office.
Correct. So yes, as just discussed, we were reworking what the duties would look like within the auditor's office and how that would work with this new position and then what became left over for tasks for what the previous position was. And so Brenda and Sarah have been working together and have determined at this point that they feel that they can share an employee to cover tasks 75% of the time within the auditor's office and 25% of the time within the community services office. So you have a job description in front of you that details that as well. And this would pay grade out at a pay grade 20.
Move to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Commissioner Waterman. Any discussion?
I just would like to add that thanks to the auditor and the community services director there for working together on this. I think this is thinking outside of the box, which is going to save us a little bit of money, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for your work on that project. Natalie, I know you had a hand in that
Natalie,
as well.
yeah.
You're
To
welcome.
leave you out there.
No,
Any
you're
more
fine.
discussion? Any more comment? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You want to stay here?
I'll
for
just
the-
stay for a couple minutes.
Okay,
Yep.
then number 15 is action to approve the revised wage scale, adding auditor's office, accountant administrator position, and the auditor and community service office administrative support positions. Okay, and you have a copy of that in your packet. Explain what we're looking at.
Yep. So in the pay grade 20 section, you will see that position that we just approved for administrative support listed and added. And then in the pay grade 35 section, you'll see the other position that we just approved or you approved for accountant administrator added. We did not remove the financial assistant position out of the auditor's office. That's still there in case we need to fill that at some point in the future or make changes, but these new positions have been added in.
I'll entertain a motion.
You want to also
Move.
add about changing community service?
Yes.
That was also done. That was.
Yes,
after
we have, I have also, yes, thank you, Brenda.
Yeah.
On this pay scale, all the references to welfare have all been changed to community service as well,
Excellent.
with their name change in their department. So
Good.
been working on trying to get that fixed.
We'll get on page 1 here pretty soon,
Yeah.
everybody. I have a motion, I think, from Commissioner Gable.
Yep.
Is that correct? And a
Correct.
second? And a second from who?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Waterman. Is there any more discussion? And just note that those terms will be changed.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go on then, and I think we still need you up here. Yeah, item number 16 now is action to advertise and hire an administrative support position to fill a vacancy in the auditors and the community service offices. And Natalie, share with us what we're looking for there. Just, I think you already did, but.
Yep. So
reiterate.
we have the job description. Basically, we would just like to start advertising to hire. Of course, then this would be a full-time position with full county benefits. And as we mentioned, shared between the two offices. And we will advertise internally and externally for that position.
So
Motion,
moved.
motion by
Second.
Commissioner Gable, seconded by Van Duzen. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
I think you're done with me. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Natalie, for the work on this. Let's go on to item number 17. note, and this is just for the commission and for our knowledge, is a request to have a bingo event to support, is that the Militiamen Veterans Motorcycle Club?
Yep.
In the local community, and that request was made by Becky Andrews. And this will be held at the Sandbar, is my understanding, and I don't have a date on it,
March 16th,
March 15th.
16/16.
All right. So that's primarily information only, okay? Let's go on then to item number 18. Note President's Day off.
Correct. That will be next Monday, February 19th, and that is by policy that we have that day as a holiday.
So don't show up next week. Item number 19, is there any abatement applications?
No abatements.
Okay. Action to approve claims for payment, item number 20.
Yeah.
Do we have any?
Yes, we have the whole big packet of all the claims from the month. I think you should have that.
Yep.
So the state pass-through amount was $695,474.28. So the actual amount of county for the county claims is $461,551.73. And I would also add, well, we'll see if we get motion and stuff on that. There's one more thing I would like to add about claims.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Van Duzen, a second by Gable. Or any discussion? What were
Okay,
you saying?
so what I would like to add is Charlie's comment last week about on the personnel for those claims. Since it was mentioned in open meeting, I would like to explain the fact that our hourly employees, we only put an hourly amount, and that's why you did not see amount for the individual you were questioning, just
Thank
for
you.
everyone's
And
reference.
thank you for that explanation after the meeting last
Right.
week. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Same sign, motion carries.
No automatic budget supplements this week either.
No budget supplements. That's good news. Personnel changes, we got a couple of them.
Well, we have one, and that is the individual in my office, Cindy Feldmeyer. Date, the effective date will be February 1st, 2024. The accountant administrator, grade 35, step 1, a new rate of pay is $24.81 an hour.
Motion,
So moved.
motion by Gable. Second,
Second.
second by Randy Schwer. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, travel requests, we have a couple of them.
Yes, you do. So they're both for the treasurer's office staff to attend a workshop. And you have all the other details there.
Motion,
So
So
moved.
moved.
motion by Van Duzen,
Second.
second by Waterman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item number 24 is the public notice. A possible quorum of commissioners could be in attendance at. Anybody have any thing in that area?
Just the CCJC meeting, Mr. Chair, that's February 29th, so that's not for a couple weeks.
Right,
5:30.
Yeah. that's we'll meet again before then, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? This afternoon at 2, I think it's just a couple of us, so there shouldn't be a quorum to meet with Steve. Seeing nothing else, we'll continue any old business. Any old business to bring before the board? Any old business? Seeing none, any new business to bring before the board? Any new business? Seeing none, we'll go to the open. I did not receive any indication that we had any phone calls, any comments from the public, so how about the commissioners? Do you have anything for the open?
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Just provide an update on House Bill 1092. That's legislation that's been introduced by Representative Bartles. in the House. That is the 911 surcharge funding bill. It's making its way through, made it through the House Taxation Committee, the House floor, went to Senate Judiciary, and tomorrow it will be debated on the Senate floor. So we're continuing to follow that. It is endorsed by the South Dakota County Commission Association, who's watching that bill and offering their support as well. So talk with your legislators, your senators, if you would please, and let's see if we can get that thing passed to support our 911 system. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Van Dusen. Also, prior to the meeting, we were talking, these bills move so slow. Don't do what I do once in a while. I'll look at the bill and I'll find out when it's and where it's supposed to be. And it's like a slow boat to China.
It is.
You know, it seems like a lot of stuff just gets bogged down to the last few days.
Yeah.
So stick with it. Keep referring to those. I do really appreciate the information that comes from the office for the commissioners. That's
Association.
great.
The
And then
ACC.
you may be connected with some other, but they're generally pretty good about getting the information out and how to get in touch with them, and for gosh sakes, do that. Thank you, Commissioner Van Dusen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Do we have any need for a executive session? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Van Dusen, second by
Second.
Gable.
Gable. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you for being here and there or wherever.
Thank you.